Welcome to the TetraCast, RPG Stats Monthly Podcast. My name is Zach. I'm the host. Joining us with the most is Simon.
What?
Simon.
What?
Say Simon.
I'm
hey,
so
Simon.
excited to be here right now. I just ordered my first volume of Sora Online.
It's the best show ever.
No, it's a terrible show, but I love it anyway.
Anime of the year 2012.
Don't do this to me. Do not do that to me, man.
Summer.
Stop.
Jam,
And another person joining us is...
Joining us, Ron Taylor.
I am feeling pretty good about being here, but I'm so disappointed in Simon. Good Lord. Good
I'm so
Lord.
excited.
Why? That's bad. That's so bad.
We got the full-on running commentary of how he ordered his Sword Art Online. I'm going to include that at the end of this podcast.
No, you're not.
Everyone's enjoyments. Oh, yeah, I am. And lastly, joining us, Mr. David Kreinberg.
I don't even care. What's
I
up?
don't even care. Don't
I
even
just
care.
had chicken parm sandwich, and it was good.
Chicken farm?
Oh,
Yeah,
Chicken.
it was chicken parm sub.
I don't even know what
Was it? Did you make it or did you buy it?
Both at the same time. No, I bought it.
You bought it?
Yeah, but I would make it if I wanted to.
Wait, how do you make a chicken...
I'm glad you put that out
How
there.
do you make a chicken farm sandwich?
You make chicken parm, then you put it on bread.
Oh,
Said
farm.
not chicken farm sandwich.
You know, man. You don't tell me this shit. I don't know.
Screw up.
Okay, I don't even
Oh, man.
Whatever.
David, where are you living at?
Me?
Yeah, where do you live?
I live in New Jersey.
New Jersey? Down on the chicken farm?
There's some farms
Chicken
here.
farm sandwich?
Probably.
They're chicken farms, though. That's the
Well,
important.
this is the Garden State, so there's probably farms. Maybe.
But the chicken parmesan sandwich
Right.
is what you meant, right?
Yes, that's what I meant. Did I actually say chicken farm?
No, Simon apparently
Oh, he misheard
is
you.
too lost in his own Sword Art Online purchase.
I am so hyper right now. Let us go on with this shit.
You spent $500.
I did not.
You spent the price of a PlayStation 4 on a single volume.
Oh, no.
Banana Pay.
no.
You speak lies. Whatever.
It's like $100 or something,
it's
right?
like $90.
What? Spending
$90.
so much on that. You got student loans, you got child support to pay.
I have no student loans or child
Back to him,
support.
child support.
All those kids he's got on gas in the Tails threads.
Yeah.
Years of South by Southwest tickets.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go on with this. Let's go on with the shit.
All right.
So
Okay.
apparently something interesting happened today. You guys?
Yeah, I'm glad we're recording this on August 1st because this morning Capcom dropped a bombshell.
They
during
announced
their-
a much-anticipated sequel.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love this game.
Aren't
I
you
love this
waiting?
franchise.
Weren't you waiting for years and years to find out more about
Breath of
your
Fire.
most beloved series? So, yeah, Capcom announced this morning that Onimusha Mobile is coming to the Vita in Japan.
Oh,
so.
don't. No. No one cares about it.
Oh,
No one cares
what?
about
No one
this.
cares about Onimusha.
No one cares?
No.
No one-
Well, the Street Fighter X Tekken is coming to browsers. Is that
no one cares
no,
about
no one cares about
Really?
that.
Get the meat.
Yeah.
meat of the potatoes?
Yeah.
What?
Get to the meat of the
So, yeah, Capcom announced this morning that Breath of Fire 6, the grand follow-up to Dream, will be coming to PC browsers and tablets and touch devices coming in 2014 to Japan. And boy, howdy.
Oh,
we-
my God.
We're all so excited! Yeah!
You had me at Breath of Fire 6 until you said the M word.
Well, I'm disappointed they used the number 6, not the Roman numerals. I had to go back and change everything. I
I
was
cannot
upset. That was-
believe
Love is
what a
over.
shit company Capcom has turned into. Like, in literally a single fucking day.
Right
Like,
off the bat, Simon.
Single day, really?
Single
Capcom,
day.
just today?
Okay,
It's not like building up for
there
months
is a
and
recipe.
years.
There's a recipe out there called Dumb Goofed How to Fuck Up Your Company. And it's written by Square Enix, alright? It's out there right now.
God.
Capcom
Do you-
elevated that shit further, like, Dumb Goofed How to Wreck Your Company in a Fucking Day.
Simon, you are incredibly angry.
He is
I'm
very
not- I'm
upset
not
because
angry.
he's still
I cannot believe
living off the
He's lit-
excitement.
he's lit today.
He's lit up.
I cannot believe the incompetence of this fucking company. Like, holy fucking shit. I don't get it.
part of me wants to be the optimistic side and say, hey, they said it's a touch-based RPG. They did not, and that was online. They did not say that it was going to have microtransactions or free-to-play or casual injections. But part of me
that kind of implies it.
Delaying the inevitable. Well, yeah, it's delaying the inevitable, and the fact that Capcom Online Games has a history of doing that. Plenty.
Well, in Capcom's defense, though, like they broadcasted this like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. They're saying, "Hey guys, we're having a games reveal, 13 games by the way, and they're going to be like all iOS, mobile, and tablet and whatever shit."
Yeah, but people told us like throwaway crap, not
right.
Not,
well, we.
Breath of Fire.
Not one of their beloved and esteemed franchises being run into the ground by an iPad.
I'm sure that Ace Attorney 6 will follow suit and be mobile.
God damn it, I will not buy that shit.
It's on iOS already. It's fine.
I think it's great on iOS, but man, the tears will flow.
I don't understand Capcom. Like, okay, I'm not saying the Japanese game development industry is like sort of ignorant, but like they've seen what's happened to Square Enix over the years. Like this is an unfolding of a company falling apart over the years. Like Capcom should fucking know better than to go like this route, because yes, mobile and stuff like that earns them profits, but only in short term. Like this is not long term planning. Like a good chunk of the profits comes from like creating these not AAA games, because AAA games is like a dumb profit model in the first place anyway. Like creating like big console titles that people get excited for, invest money, and then it becomes a franchise. Then you build up that loyalty over the years. You don't have that with the mobile title. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
And at the other side of it, though, it's like Japan is way more mobile than before. So it's like the fact that they're releasing that, the only thing that keeps my head up about all of this is like, okay, you guys, you're making these games. Please say that you're pumping that money into something that the hardcore fans, the ones that stay loyal to you for years, can enjoy.
You know what that game's called? Well, not that game. You want to know what that project is called?
Monster Hunter?
It's called fucking Deep Down. That's what it's fucking called.
We'll talk about that. I think it would have been so much better if they just did not name this Breath of Fire 6, but at the same time, I want to wait and see what exactly that project's all about before I go haywire.
Okay,
I mean, obviously, expectations are very low for what that's going to turn into, but man.
It's crazy. Like, Breath of Fire, like, most recently, Mega Man, like, these are franchises that people have grown up with over the years. Like, I hate mentioning GAF on this podcast, but like if you look at that, if you look at that Breath of Fire 6 thread on NeoGAF, like so many fucking tears. Like these are like old game people. I'm not that old. I'm only 23. But I played these since childhood. Like when I still play them today. Like what the hell? Like how can they treat these franchises like, oh, just throw them away? Like they did with fucking Final Fantasy All the Bravest.
Yeah, and it's like I grew up playing Breath of Fire, and that was like, especially Breath of Fire 2 was crazy. Like the story in that game was nuts, and I love that game to death. And then coming to, see that franchise go over the years, there has not been a Breath of Fire game since 2003. So, and that was like,
years.
It was not like a game, it was a Game Boy game, I think, or a Game Boy Advance game. And
when was
now
5? Wasn't 5 after that?
Maybe that was Breath of Fire 5 was 2003. I know they put out one around that time too, but the last game they put out was 2003, and so 10 years of nothing, and then this. It's like, come on, guys.
I think actually part of this can be attributed to the fact that they understand what the franchise is, they understand what type of gameplay it is, but they don't know how to grow the franchise along with the technology that's been developed over the years. So they're like, oh shit. What do we do with it? The only thing that fits in the current timeline is mobile games. We're like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just put it on a fucking mobile game.
They retired it outright. Like, I remember, I don't know if it was like 8 years ago or something, they flat out said that RPGs are no longer a sustainable model for us. So they retired it for a while.
That's right.
Yeah, and then they brought it back like this and pissed off a lot of people.
Realistically, I don't think anyone actually expected Breath of Fire 6 to be a thing, and if they did, they definitely also didn't expect it to be on mobile though.
That's true.
Well, and it's the thing. It's like try to think about what this is catering to. There hasn't been a Breath of Fire game for a decade. It's like you're putting out a Breath of Fire 6. It's like, who is this supposed to appeal to? Like, it's the only people. I mean, in Japan, the people that are playing like a lot of these online games and stuff like that. Yeah, they're in middle age. Like 30s, 40s, technically.
You know who it's supposed to appeal to? It's supposed to appeal to the desperation of the diehards.
The people that know better.
And the people that just eat up any mobile F2P game. And the truth is, for Capcom, it'll probably work to an extent. Like, they will make money off this.
Yeah, Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but not in the long run. Like,
Final Fantasy Dimension was selling, not Dimension, sorry, but All the Brave is selling pretty well for a while.
What Capcom franchise is next to go? Just who's up next?
Monster Hunter? Monster Hunter?
You know Ace Attorney. They're going to ruin Ace Attorney next. This is 5 is probably going to be the last great one.
As long as Shu Takumi's there.
There hasn't been too many Phoenix Wright games coming out, though. There's like gaps in between them, at least. With and they're putting out Dual Destiny, which everyone is.
But look at what they're doing right now. It's getting a box release in Japan. North America and Europe just get an eShop version. So either they're going to mess it up in Japan, or we're just going to stop getting them.
Yeah, but I think with Phoenix Wright, it's when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's like it's down to how it's kind of weird how it's brought over here that it's released that way. But it's like the game isn't any less for it. It's still a pretty good game from what I've heard about Dual Destiny. About what people talk.
I don't think, but it's
like
to make
the quality is dropping for like these other series we're talking about, and then Monster Hunter, it's like they're pumping out like 10 games like every 2 years in this series, so it's like
that. Like Capcom has been infamous like this generation for creating a lot of new IP, like not very good ones, but they've been doing like a lot of like creating new IPs.
Yeah.
The thing is like, how do you treat your old franchise that did extremely well, make them into a mobile game rather than make them into an HD JRPG, which granted costs a lot of resources to create, but still like it's a better investment than keep pumping money into the shit that is Lost Planet fucking 3.
You're like 80.
Yeah, from what I played of Lost Planet 3, it's actually kind of cool.
What's so exciting for that? Like I don't understand. Like
it's like what you're hoping for with Capcom, with Square Enix, and these types of companies. Like, please, guys, right now, yes, mobile is big, but please. Look to tomorrow. Look to the long term.
Like, these are not logical. Like I must not. I know I'm not like a business expert. I'm not a corporate executive or something. But they have to be seeing. They're either seeing something that I'm not, or they're truly ignorant of like how the games industry works, and that it's just a pure mark. Like it's just any other industry. You just pump out a new product, hope it makes it. You just keep running with run short term, long term.
Yeah. At the same time, though, it's like. It's really blurring the lines between East and West because you see it a lot in the West as well. Because you see a lot of them pumping out like Facebook games and iOS games of their big franchise and stuff like that. It's it's all this stuff,
Is Zynga making Tomb Raider? Is like are these like PopCap games? Are you seeing these web browser games, mobile developers, indie? Do you see them juggling mobile and stuff games along with AAA games?
A stupid mobile game and it sucked. Like Dragon Age, they did that too. That Facebook game. Actually, it was that iOS game that was awful. So it's like,
but their focus is still console games. Yes, Capcom is literally shifting like half of like they're not saying 80% is console and the rest is mobile. It's not like that. This is like fucking we're 50-50 all in, baby.
They just said that their profits are down. They said this straight out, like we didn't have blockbusters.
They did that last time, at the beginning of the year too, when they were talking about like Devil May Cry and stuff like that. That they weren't meeting their profit.
Look at their blockbusters that they have for this year. They've got Dead Rising 3, which is an Xbox One launch title, which means it has absolutely everything in the world going against it, and
exclusive.
And Lost Planet 3, which what is Lost? Like what is that game?
I think Lost Planet 3 looks good. At the same time, it's like,
it's gonna bomb. It's gonna bomb like in like the 10, like probably like sub 20,000 copies. It's gonna bomb like Fuse did. Like no one will buy it.
Capcom is gonna end up like Capcom is in the same situation as Square Enix. They're like, oh crap, we lost a lot of money over like the investments that we are making. Sorry, excuse me, for the past whatever it was. We need to make money fast, and we can't take the risk of hiring talented new designers and have that risk of possibly making a hit. We can't do that anymore the surefire way we can make money is mobile and stuff that we know we can rely on, which is numbers, because a lot of people, everyone owns a fucking smartphone in that country apparently.
Yeah, it's a lot of parallel between Capcom and Square Enix, where they're saying, okay, let's dig into our archive of old IPs and try to release it. I mean, Capcom releasing like tons of remasters and stuff like that, and like all these games on PSN and Xbox Live Arcade to try to bank off that to hopefully, like I said, invest in something good for next generation. We're done with the recession.
But the thing is, they're not.
Everyone pulled out. The yen is back to 1-to-1 to the USD, pretty much. So it's like, come on, guys.
I don't think so. They don't think it's worth the risk. That's the problem.
I think one of the bigger issues is, like Simon said, they don't think things are worth the risk, and because of that, they lost all their guys that used to take risks. They lost Inaba, and they lost Mikami, and they lost the other guy that's always making trouble. They lost Kamiya. Like they lost all the guys that they had that used to make new stuff that used to take off.
What's that guy's name?
But it seems like it's a industry exodus at the same time, like the AAA thing, so that they can start their own independent studios and make the games they want to make. I mean, Mikami is making a traditional survival horror game. The guy who made Resident Evil 4 and kicked off that series, I guess he didn't like the way it was going. He's like, I'm going to start making my own games. And Inafune is like, well, you guys, you're not really helping me out here. I'm trying to make Mega Man Legends 3. You're not helping me out. I'm leaving. I
think that's the story of Capcom over like this past decade is that I don't think they left because Capcom wouldn't let them. I think they saw the direction that Capcom was going to take, and they saw where Capcom was going to be in a decade. They're like, oh, we don't want to be working in this company anymore if this is the direction we're going to take.
That's exactly what Square Enix.
Right.
People leaving because, like, you guys are going to be putting out these mobile and social games.
I actually think that's exactly what happened. Who's that dude at Square Enix Europe? Who's that dude? Anyway, so
the president?
Yeah, that dude. Yeah. The manager. The general manager left. He's like, yeah, we had a dispute and we left, which is why they put in Fosse.
Oh, you're talking about Stefan Diostis, the guy that left.
And then Fosse is now taking over, and it makes sense that Fosse took over because his vision is what's in line with rest of Square Enix's vision or rest of Eidos
It's also like. Yeah, they wouldn't tell him anything. The Eidos Montreal boss, they didn't tell him anything. Like, they wouldn't, like, let him know what exactly they were supposed to be focusing on. So it was so disorganized that he was like, all right, guys, you need to tell me what you want us to do. And at the end of the day, now it's like he's gone, Phil Rogers comes in, and he's taken over for Square Enix Europe.
Yeah.
I don't blame the guy that left.
I don't blame the guy that left either. But now that... Speaking of Square Enix,
to answer the question of who does Capcom still have, they still have Takumi, I guess, the Ace Attorney guy.
Not really. He's
not the director.
He's kind of fallen in line, though.
Freelancing now. I would love a Ghost Trick, too, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, that would be great. I love that.
Resident Evil 6, they've got Masachika Kawada and the other guy.
No. Resident Evil 6 is the story of a AAA game falling apart.
It is, and that guy, him and the other guy that were the producers on that and Dragon's Dogma, Capcom is trying to sell them as names, and they're not. They were the executive producers of Resident Evil 4, which means that they did nothing. They're nobodies. But that's
Itsuno, that's his name.
There we go, Itsuno. You got it.
What do you think? Ron, I have a question.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen? Well, how do you think the development process is going to go for the next Resident Evil? Is it a boot? Do you think it's a reboot? And
they said it's going to be a reboot, didn't they? They said it's another reboot.
And what do you think about the dev team size? What do you think they're going to do?
600 people.
I don't. The dev team size. I don't know what they're going to do. I would assume that in the event that they're not that deep into development, I think when what is it called? Evil Within. When Evil Within releases and they see how that sells, because I have an idea that's probably going to sell really, really well. I think that
game is great.
That's going to heavily influence the direction and the development of Resident Evil 7. I think.
Oh yeah, the great thing about Evil Within is that like I said, it's very traditional survival horror. It's like it's got everything that Resident Evil used to be.
Evil Within is going to sell that much. I don't really.
It's a new IP. It's going to be hard.
I think it's going to sell off
survival horror. Well, think of Dead Space. Dead Space didn't do that well in the beginning. It's because of word of mouth over the months Like it sold consistently well over the months. It didn't do like instantly.
But that's coming from EA, where that's like the first time in years they took a risk on something. With Mikami, it's like but then again, like Clover Studio and stuff like that, you can argue about people.
1 million people
designers
know Mikami
come together. It's hard to sell. Even
yes, I think bottom line, it definitely does at least 2 million units.
I don't know about that.
I think it'll do 3 at least. Globally.
I mean, new IPs are good to
Bayonetta.
release at the beginning of each generation, which is
all right.
Bayonetta is a good counterpoint, though. Bayonetta is a good counterpoint. Kamiya's name did absolutely nothing for Bayonetta, and in truth, Mikami's name did nothing for Vanquish. Vanquish was a bomb, kind of.
Yeah.
So,
both were really good games this generation.
Really good games, yeah. They were. So
that's a bigger bomb, Shadow of the Damned.
That's Suda 51. Like his best-selling game is was it Lollipop Chainsaw, and that sold like 100,000.
Let's create stuff for a niche audience. Yeah.
And also, I know that Mikami was producer on Shadows or whatever, but I really don't count that as a Mikami game, even though it kind of has an RE4 feel to it. Like, that's a Suda game, and Suda's not actually a great game designer.
It's like Soul Sacrifice and saying like Inafune is like, it's not really.
Right, it's not really.
What about Vanquish?
Vanquish is definitely a Mikami game.
That didn't do that well.
Right, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. Like,
did you say Vanquish? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, he said Vanquish. So I don't know if Evil Within is going to do well.
It's a counterpoint for Bayonetta also. Kamiya's name did nothing to help Bayonetta at retail, and truth be told, Bayonetta's use is going to be a bomb, definitely, because of platform and franchise.
So I don't know that much about Evil Within. Enlighten me. What platforms is this game on?
It's on like current gen and next gen. I think it's Xbox One and PlayStation 4, PS3.
And this game is gonna bomb even harder. No, I'm being legit.
Why does that make it bomb even harder?
It's because generation.
I'm not saying the consoles are gonna sell badly, but the install base compared to the current gen and the next gen, a lot of the only people who are gonna buy Evil Within are gonna be the people who own next gen consoles. Everyone else, they're gonna buy it for current gen systems, which means it dilutes it even further.
Well, it's like I'm not really sure how that makes it diluted. I mean, that just spreads it out. I mean, there's been plenty of games that released on multiple platforms that sell pretty well. Yes. I think for Evil Within, it's the fact that you don't really see a game like that coming out anytime soon.
Everybody making cross-gen games I hope they have the expectation to sell less copies on the next-gen consoles, and that's why they're cross-generation, because they know that.
Yeah.
Well, not even that. Like, they're not going to buy, unless they really want to play the game, they're sort of like, oh, because this is for the current gen, the next gen's a better version, why am I going to buy this game?
You mean they're going to wait to buy it?
Yeah, they're going to wait to buy it is what I mean.
We should say that Evil Within is a fall 2014 game. It's not quite a Battlefield situation. Like there'll be some sort of an install base a year from now.
Okay, all right.
Exactly. We'll be able to fall back on games like Evil Within.
Is it going to hit 1 million? I don't think it's going to hit 1 million.
I do. I think because of what it is. I think and because Bethesda I think knows how to market their games and push them pretty well. I definitely think it's going to do at least 2 to 3 million on a global scale.
I'm glad we're all analysts here. But like I said before, though, is that for Evil Within, it's I'm talking about this on an RPG podcast, but it's a very, like I said, it's a very traditional survival horror game, but it's like, it has its audience. At the same time, you look at a game like Demon Souls, like it was completely out of there as far as like a niche audience, like a hardcore RPG audience. You don't see many of those. That was a runaway success, you know?
I don't know. That game was
No.
So
Dark Souls did pretty good. Demon Souls was exactly a runaway success.
It's
and not only that, like I think people bought it.
It's a great title.
Okay, well, I think it's a great title, but I don't think Dark Souls 2 will do as good as Namco is expecting because part of the reason why people bought Dark Souls is because a lot of people bought into the word of mouth of how great this game is. I will guarantee you, about 90% of the people who bought Dark Souls, 90% of the people who bought Dark Souls probably didn't even get to the Lord Souls part.
Past the first
like,
boss.
They probably, huh?
Fuck this game.
No, I mean, like, if the average gamer doesn't even finish if the average gamer doesn't even finish a game, like Bastion, I remember Greg.
Only like 80%, like 20% of people finish a game as is, like in any given game.
So Dark Souls will be even less. So, like, if they can't finish it, they're not going to have the incentive to buy that game.
You could say that about a lot of stuff.
The reason I brought up Demon Souls in the first place was not to talk about, going from like one to the sequel or something like that. I'm just talking about the fact that there is this audience that's craving something like this because they've not been satisfied because Resident Evil 6 is just like bleh.
In relation to Dark Souls 2, Namco is kind of pushing that as though it's a game that has the potential to sell 5 million units, like as far as bringing out like Spike TV and stuff. And it ain't gonna touch 5 million units. It's not even gonna touch 3.
No, I think it'll touch 3. I don't think it'll touch 3.
So?
No. Yeah, I think it's gonna touch 3.
But getting back to my point is just that with Evil Within, there's plenty of people like myself who loved the original Resident Evil and the Silent Hill games. And they're really killing for something that's harkens back to those days. Mikami came out and said he was tired of having all these games that pushed more to the action and thriller side. He wants to go back to the traditional form of survival horror, and that's from what I got to see on the demo at E3, that it was hitting a lot of those same notes. It's very messed up. A lot of crazy monster designs.
I commend him, but I think the survival horror genre is one of the least populated genres in the gaming industry.
I think he's out to prove people wrong that there's still plenty of people
his game
like
is super awesome.
It needs refreshment, just like any other genre. It needs
super
something
awesome, and if it's like super appealing to people and it gets really good word of mouth, it'll attract people into that genre, and people will start designing. Because this is how the industry has worked. Because look at Call of Duty, Call of Duty didn't. Call of Duty didn't do well because it reinvented. Halo originally brought in all of the console shooters games.
Yeah,
Halo brought in all the console shooters.
He's making an argument about popularizing design, and that's what Call of Duty has. It's forever influenced the way multiplayer design works in shooters. And until another shooter comes along and sort of reinvents that, this is how it's going to be. And Titanfall, there's going to be a lot of Call of Duty DNA in Titanfall, even still.
Yeah, so Evil is I know multiplayer shoehorn is I know it sucks, and I feel so sorry for developers who don't want to do it.
It doesn't have multiplayer.
Right. But I'm saying not having multiplayer is going to hurt. I think.
Oh, come on, no!
It's an undeniable fact that
it is.
I don't know about a fact. I think it's shown that a lot of that shit is shoehorned in and actually ends up hampering it. Unless it's two studios making the single player and the multiplayer, it ends up pulling the single player back and starting the game.
I'm not saying single player has no market. It definitely does. I go out playing for single player games, but at the end of the day, the games that I play the most are multiplayer games. These are
you can't put multiplayer in a survival horror game.
And that's what I'm saying.
I don't want that.
Neither do I.
This is going to be a one-off. People are going to buy it, but if a game doesn't constantly bring back the player to keep playing it, then a game is not considered.
You can do that without straight up multiplayer.
To be seen. I mean, they could have a lot of stuff planned for it. It's
leaderboards, stuff like that.
Nobody cares about leaderboards.
I don't. Name me a
kids don't care about leaderboards.
Name me a non-multiplayer-based single-player game that has done extremely well.
Yeah.
A single-player game that has done extremely well.
RPGs don't have multiplayer. Fine. The silence.
No, I can't think of any. I can't think of any single-player games.
Wait. When you say extremely, though, what do you mean by extreme? Even
half of Call of Duty numbers. Even half of Call of Duty.
Okay, half of Call of Duty numbers is not feasible.
Okay, all right, a fourth of Call of Duty's numbers.
No survival horror ever sold Call of Duty.
Just any single-player only games.
Nintendo games.
Skyrim.
Or does Nintendo?
All right, Skyrim. All right, okay, touche. But Skyrim
was once in a blue moon, though. That's the thing about Skyrim.
No,
Skyrim's success was freakish.
I don't think it needs to be that, though. It doesn't need to be the game that sells 20 million or 10 million copies.
If they want to revitalize that genre, they need to.
Yeah. Why do they need that numbers to revitalize the genre?
I don't think the numbers. I think it's just
to sustain that genre. Then there's no market for it.
But You don't need Call of Duty numbers.
Plenty of really good, like Amnesia. There's like plenty of really good survival horror games that are out there that are starting to bring that genre back. Evil Within is just a bomb.
Amnesia was also
no,
developed
hold
on
on.
the PC.
Let's not get into the whole thing of conflating the quality of indie games with the attention and the sales that they get.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it was cheap.
No, I'm talking to Zach. He's bringing up Amnesia, saying it's like being a genre revival, and it is on a very, very small scale.
Yeah.
It's Amnesia has done nothing to make survival horror more palatable business wise.
It's one amongst several survival horror games like Slender Man and all these crazy games coming out. It doesn't have to be like a big console game that revitalizes the genre. It can start from the bottom up, you know? It's like, okay, we know there's people here who are dying for these games. I mean, that's why you see so many Kickstarters from these...
but for the context of this conversation...
all these other studios saying, like, all right, we know there's an audience that aren't being satisfied with RPGs. Let's go back and deliver a game they want to make.
In this specific conversation, when we say revitalize a genre, we're talking about bringing a genre back to the status of where there are multiple publishers making $60 boxed retail games in that genre.
There's only one genre that does that, though. First-person shooters.
Right.
That's not true.
That's
not
true. Yeah, that's not true because there's a ton of $60 games that are on shelves right now that aren't FPSs.
Yeah.
From multiple big publishers.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Like what?
Like
RPGs. Like EA is making Dragon Age and Mass Effect and Bethesda.
Bandai is
Mass Effect is a shooter.
No.
Mass Effect doesn't put up as big numbers.
People do not play Mass Effect for the shooter. People play it for the
story,
like novelish, like choices. Like they play for the narrative elements for Mass Effect. It's undeniable.
It's a role playing.
But it's not putting up close to the same numbers. It sells like 2 to 3 million copies.
But the point is, like, there's a market. There's a high demand for that market. That's the thing.
But yeah, that doesn't mean there can't be a high demand for this other stuff. I mean, we've just talked about Breath of Fire 6. If one of these, like Sakaguchi, started a Kickstarter tomorrow, say, I want to make the next big RPG, why don't you help me make it?
I would not give money for it.
Nope.
I would.
I probably would.
It's really hard for an independent studio to make the game they want to make. Can you help me out? What's wrong with that?
Somebody told because
I don't think are good.
That's the thing. You have to make good games. It's not enough to just come out here and like sort of like blow on the indie horn and be like, oh, I'm indie. I'm taking a stand against AAA. Like that's fine and dandy, but are you a good designer? Because Sakaguchi left Square and made stuff on his own, and he wasn't good. He's still not good. That's why he's not making console games now.
Right?
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
What are you talking about?
Last story like A tier?
What?
Is it
Lost Odyssey was.
Lost Odyssey was also early in the generation. It had the benefit of having no other JRPG in its competition.
Yeah, it had no competition.
There still isn't really on consoles.
Lost Odyssey stands alone as a really good RPG. It doesn't need to be the benefit of being an early game. You're coming up with things. You're pulling things out of a hat. By itself, it's a good RPG. If it wasn't a good game, no one would have bought it anyway. So it's talking about a JRPG on an Xbox console. Why would they buy that when Oblivion?
I hate to admit this as a reviewer, but reviews are relative in the fact to the games that are around it. If there are no games for that console, for that space, that reinvent it.
I think you see like 1,000 people like screaming at you saying, "No, it's a good game."
I'm not saying it's a bad game. It is a good game. It is not a 90+ game.
Since we already brought up NeoGAF, there was some thread that was going on the other day, and one of the NeoGAF mods, he said something like, since we're talking about Sakaguchi, but he said, somebody suggested that...
It was Y2Cat, probably.
It was Y2Cat. It was him, and it was very smart. He said somebody had suggested that for Square to get FF back on track, they should money hat Sakaguchi.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And Y2Cat, he said, look, Sakaguchi has already proven... Sakaguchi is not good without Square. Look at the games he's put out. Generally, he's not very good without Square. They don't need to spend money. They don't need to spend money on him. They need to try to double down on the guys who really put the franchise on the map, like Kitase and some of the other guys that are there. We can have a separate discussion about whether
Kitase's out.
We can have a separate discussion about whether Kitase is jaded or whether he's off his rocker or whatever. The point is, getting Sakaguchi back isn't going to do anything. He's not the key to the franchise. He's already proven he's not, because the games that he's put out in terms of how they've been received, how they've sold, how they've been looked back on, haven't lived up.
You could say he's just not good with smaller teams or something.
Lost Odyssey has one of the best in an RPG.
We're not saying it's a terrible game. But
Yeah.
what?
You said it's just a bad game.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying he's not a great. I'm saying he's not an excellent designer.
You're saying it's a middling game, which I don't agree with. I think
Okay,
it's a fantastic game.
He makes games from the 6 to 8 range. He makes games from 6 to 8 range.
Yeah, here's the thing. My argument isn't about Lost Odyssey. My argument is about Sakaguchi's value as a designer doesn't have much. That's my argument. He's not.
He has a pedigree. He's had a good pedigree.
He's had a good pedigree. But in the current times, he's not that valuable. He's not worth pursuing.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sakaguchi didn't create Lost Odyssey, though. He's the studio. He wrote the story, and the story was amazing.
Okay, then he can create great stories, but he can't design games.
Yeah.
This game was designed very well. I don't even know what you mean.
Okay, so the point stands then that Sakaguchi is not a good designer then.
Yeah. He didn't design Lost Odyssey, and Lost Odyssey was great, right? And you said he didn't design it? There you go.
I don't know where you guys are coming from on this.
The
We're having like 6 different conversations.
Okay, the point is that, going back to the original point. The point is that in order for a genre to sustain itself, there needs to be a number, right? Like, if there's no demand for it, like, you're obviously not going to create games for it.
Yes.
Yes, Zach, you agree,
I thought
right?
the argument was...
What's your argument for a Lost Story, then? It's around other
We're
RPGs.
going to go back to the original point. If there is no demand for it, you're not going to create a product. Yes.
Was it the original argument that if it's not multiplayer?
I'm going to lead into that.
I don't think it needs to have it needs to be like something that's in massive demand right now. Sometimes you got to create that demand. You know.
Right. So we agree that the Evil Within is supposed to be a game that's supposed to reignite the.
Mikami wants to. It's mostly
Mikami wants
there.
to reignite the interest in the genre again. Yes.
Yes.
I think it's more that he wants it because he wants to go back personal interest.
Wait. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Even if that's Mikami's only reason, the reason Bethesda is publishing it and backing the game is because they have an interest business-wise in him reigniting the genre. Ergo, they can let him make more games. Ergo, they can make money. Somebody's in it for money. Always remember that. There's somebody who's in it for money.
Obviously, it goes without saying that. Obviously, the only reason Bethesda would have put money into it is because they would have done it anyway.
If his game, Evil Within, does not reignite the genre, that genre is going to stay where it is today. That's my point.
Which is slowly building up.
No, it's not slowly building up.
No.
You guys have not been paying attention to the genre.
You're one of those people. Seriously, like I like indie games, and I don't mean to insult you. And I like indie games. You're one of those people that gives indie games a little too much credit. They're great, and they have influence on the core. They don't influence. Most indie games have no influence whatsoever on any genres or creative ideas. Anything in terms of their standing within the mainstream. And something like Angry Birds.
Why does the mainstream matter, though?
Because the mainstream has money. That's why they have money and they spend it every year. That's why they matter.
And you see studios closing left and right because they failed to grasp this. And so you see, like, THQ closing down all the studios.
THQ closed down not because
you guys are ignoring the fact that indies are probably going to be, it's probably just going to be AAA and indies next generation. And a lot of the indies are going to survive more than the AAA studios.
Oh, yeah. And
they're making all the money from making the games they like to make.
Are better. That's because the triple model is a fashion.
We're not talking about pure quality. We're talking about the reaction people have to these games.
Here's the thing, though: when AAA dies out, that's just gonna mean that the industry is smaller. Indies aren't gonna all of a sudden become massive.
Indies are growing huge.
Indies are huge. I can't have this conversation now. Indies are huge.
They are huge. There have been indies.
They are huge right now.
Have you been huge compared to what they were half a decade ago? Yeah, sure. I can admit that.
There's some great indie games, and they're selling really well.
There are indie games that have passed the millions. Look at friggin' Minecraft.
Wait. You did not just bring up Minecraft.
Why not? It's an indie game.
It started as an indie game, and it grew big. Is it something against? It's big now.
Simon, tell these people.
A lot of those huge hits. How many of those huge hits are like compared to like how many indie games exist on the market?
You can say that about the main.
No. The percentage of successful games in the main gaming industry is a lot larger than it is in the industry.
There is. I can name you 10 successful AAA franchises and indies that have had comparable success. I can name you 2: Angry Birds, and Minecraft. That's it.
The difference between that is, though, that the developers are making all that money for themselves. It's not with, like, publishers where they're making just a fraction of that to the developers. They're given that
doesn't matter. I don't care. That doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to the argument. I don't care about how much money developers are
What's
making.
the argument, though? Success is the argument here.
No, because the success isn't the argument because the money isn't circulating properly then. Because if indies
fine. They're making a profit on every game.
If indies self-profit, they're going to use that money to fund another project, right? Yeah?
So what?
Yeah. So, but the thing is, publishers fund multiple projects, multiple chances of success. If an indie
they don't take risks anymore. We were talking about Capcom not taking risks.
But the companies that are doing well, the companies that are doing well, like Ubisoft, they're putting out two new franchises, 3 within the next 2 years. The money that is flowing into theirs because of the current franchises they have, they're funding into new projects. The indie developers, unless the next title is a hit with the project they used from their previous hit, it's not circulating anywhere. It is a failure.
What do you? As soon as a game is made, as soon as it's shut down, it's not really any different.
I don't understand this argument at all.
I don't know where exactly your argument lies.
Indies have a place in the market. I'm not denying that. They've grown over the past half decade. Yes, sure. Okay.
Yes.
But they're not the ones that are thriving this industry.
I think it's turned it around. I think it's a lot about the indies. They're the ones like inspiring the higher ups to like.
When AAA bottoms out, the industry is going to shrink, and it's going to be several hundred thousands of people that play games, and that's how it's going to be. It's not going to be that Call of Duty is suddenly toppled by something like a Minecraft, and that's how things go. And then all of a sudden, there's like 50 million people playing Minecraft. That's not what's going to happen, and that's the argument that
the AAA industry model is going to implode on itself. It's not.
It's not going to switch places with indies. It's just going to die. It won't be replaced. It's not going to
be around since like the 80s. What?
You guys could make the argument that mid-tier development has completely died out and indie took its place.
Oh, it has.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that indie's small. If anything,
we're not saying it's small. I'm not saying it's small. I'm saying it's not as huge as you guys think it is, and it's not as impactful as you guys think it is.
It's a more sustainable model than AAA.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying, though.
I just don't see the problem with people making the games they want to make, taking over the industry. I think that's the best thing that can happen.
They're going to take it over, but it's going to be much smaller. It's not going to have the.
I'd rather not see big publishers like EA and Activision be on the top. I'd rather see small indie developers take over the world.
They're just going to get to that point where the developers become the publishers. Yeah. And that's just.
They self-publish. That's the best part.
And eventually they're going to want to. And then eventually they're going to want to have teams under them, and they're going to eventually become, publishers.
Oh my God! What is your argument here?
Are you saying that it's just going to go in a cycle? The indies turn into AAA guys?
Of course. Are you? Of course.
In that case, the industry's not shrinking at all. That just means that it's going in a cycle.
No, the industry is that for that moment when the AAA is gone. It has shrunk considerably.
Do you realize that a lot of these companies started off as small indie groups and then they became big?
We're supporting my argument.
We've got circles.
It's circles. This is. I just don't know where this.
Okay, all right, whatever. We're done with this conversation.
This is just real bad.
Okay.
Just,
So apparently, Blizzard announced something very interesting today.
Oh yes, get to that. Yep.
Yeah, apparently Activision actually announced during a conference call that Titan is no longer – they decided that they're not going to make another subscription-based MMO, instead going to take it into a different direction. Now, whether that means that they're going to take another different pay model or that they're going to just put out a big Blizzard game – I don't know. Did you guys learn more about that?
It's an MMO because they're going to have to replace WoW, so let's not even for a tenth of a second think that it's not going to be an MMO. It's going to be new model. It's going to use the Guild Wars 2 model, and Final Fantasy XIV is dead in the water.
Yeah. Those are the three major points, pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much. Bullshit. It's our podcast.
I will be vindicated.
One of the biggest publishers in the world is reconsidering the financial structure of one of their biggest investments. Are actually probably already a huge investment as enough as
it is because the way it just got pushed back like 3 years.
Right. They canceled the thing. One of their biggest investments in, if they're rethinking this, Square Enix is like, unless their MMO is like suddenly the biggest godsend MMO in the world, it's gonna fucking bomb as a subscription model.
Yeah. There's a few things with that. One is that Blizzard didn't go through the same experience that Square had with Final Fantasy XIV. Absolutely. Where a game completely crashes at the start. The good thing about that, the whole thing with Square Enix is that with 14 is that they were like, okay, we're not going to charge you to play this game while we're trying to get it back on its feet back in 2010, 2011. So it's like they spent that time. Now they need, they need a stable way to get their money back from all this investment they made. So it's like, of course, they're going to start with subscription. And they're going to get a lot of their money back. The good thing about subscription models is that it's guaranteed money month to month. It's not like free to play where it fluctuates.
No. Whoa.
Yeah. Let me finish. I'm just saying at the start. So it's like they'd be stupid not to be. Right from the get-go, even Yoshida said, of course, we're looking at these other models with a very close eye because they're not so blind to the look of the market. Yoshida is a very smart man. He's led a very.
So you're saying it's going to start as a free to play, though? Pay to play, right? I thought this was that.
I just don't. It's going to be as soon because in order to get all that money back, you're probably going to have to wait at least a few years.
And
the thing is that
it's not going to be subscription based for a couple of years, though. It's not going to be subscription based for a year.
Yeah.
I'll be impressed if they can last 6 months.
I think it's totally different. The thing with like some of these other MMOs like Star Wars is that they released it and they liked content. The end game was not that great. And that it kind of flubbed from there, and it didn't have much of a flow to it. So, and the thing is, of course, they have to work out the Star Wars license.
Unless the game is like a 95 plus Metacritic or something stupid like that, the game is.
And even then,
the game is not gonna. Okay, the game won't be.
I would not be looking at Metacritic right after an MMO release.
Okay, right. The game's quality will not retain the subscribers needed for them to see the profits.
I think that remains to be seen because
right now has a model right now.
Argument. Obviously, in order to convince people to jump onto, obviously, they already got burned once. The people that bought into it early. So obviously, Square has to do a lot to promote that the goodwill to bring them back. So. The pressure's on them.
No, that doesn't. I'm not saying 14 is going to do bad because I'm not saying A Realm Reborn is going to do bad because 14 did bad. I am saying that unless the game is good, the game will not retain subscribers to make a profit.
That's a given. Though. That's a given, of course. But what I'm trying to say though is that what I'm trying to point out is that it's part I'm siding with you on this. It's just that, like I said. They got burned once, and now they're going to try to put out this game. And they said they already said in order to get that money back, they have to. Their hands are kind of tied. They have to put out that business model that guarantees that they're going to be making money month to month, so that they can put out succession content over the coming months, so that they can start putting out the build it up.
Okay,
basically.
And I'm saying that model is a fucking failure.
Yeah, that sounds stupid. They could go FTP and probably double up on their profits month to month.
They can.
They could. Incredible misconception. Money in FTP fluctuates. Nope. You get these people called whales. All they do is load money into those games. That is not how it works. They would be making the money that they can make on that they're going to make on that $15 model per month. They could double that, possibly even triple that on an FTP model.
Not only that,
with a small audience.
Yeah, and not only that, there are events every single. Like, look at Guild Wars 2. There's an event every single fucking month, and they add new stuff to the gem store every fucking month. And hey, guess what? People buy that shit every fucking month. It's not that.
Well, once again, it's the Final Fantasy XIV has got a unique situation that they're trying to recover from, and so I'm just saying. Like I said, it's not that I hate the idea of a free-to-play game. I played them before. Most of them are awful.
But you think it's going to succeed as a subscription-based MMO? Yes.
I heard he said it's that they are looking at these other models. I'm sure you should have already said months and months ago, like last year, he said that he, of course, is looking at these different business models. He just knows that because they invested $100 million into the Realm Reborn, that they cannot go out of the gate as a free-to-play game. It's that they need to make consistent. If you got like 500,000 people or 250,000 people all spending $13 a month on their game consistently, that means they can always make sure of that they can pump the money back into the game.
Here's the quote.
With
Here's the quote.
free-to-play,
Here's the quote he says.
Pressure on free-to-play. The pressure on free-to-play is just that you have to pump out tons of content, and they cannot do that right out of the gate when they've already spent all this time trying to create the game again from where it was.
I'm not saying the game is going to be free-to-play straight out. I'm saying the subscription model will not last a year.
Yeah, we're saying it should have been free-to-play straight out. They screwed up. They should have seen this coming.
I don't think that's it's. They could have done it a long time ago. It's like so many months ago. I mean, this game has been in development since 2010 when that game failed.
Right, I'm saying from the get-go they fucked up.
Cannot go out of the free to play. It wouldn't do them any good. They can't go out of the gate free to play. It wouldn't help them.
Right, I'm not saying.
Wait. It wouldn't help them to go out of the gate free to play. Did you hear what we just said? It would.
No. It is true. It is true.
Producing content for that game.
No. It won't help if it went free to play. If there is no system in place, if there is no profit model in place in that game.
Oh, right.
Which I don't think there is, other than like the little microtransactions they have. If they have no sustainable profit model off of a free to play system for the 6 months from the launch to the 6 month period, they are fucking boned and they cannot release it.
Yeah. Subscription is a sustainable model for now. That's the thing, is that they got the thing with the Final Fantasy brand is that you can guarantee there's going to be a ton of people.
See, here's the thing.
Subscription is not a sustainable model.
But even then, you're arguing sustainability, and we're talking about profitability.
But I already mentioned
they can keep the servers for the game on and have a couple
of 100,000 people
playing and everything. But they'll be losing money. I don't know.
If they had.
To this font, it's never gone free to play yet, and it's gone this font. It's made them a ton of money. It doesn't make as much as it but the thing is that there's no reason to believe that a subscription model can't work.
Yeah,
there's no reason why every single that has to come out.
Oh man,
there are reasons, but it's just we don't have any evidence that this definitely isn't going to work just yet.
Well,
we got a high beta, we got all that stuff.
They've got a very good report from people who have played the beta. They got all this.
And in the episode that we reported a lost, we quickly we came to the conclusion that doesn't mean anything because beta numbers never really reflect who actually buys in.
I'm not talking about the number of people because obviously they're inviting them in waves. I'm talking about that they have all these people that are like, well, Final Fantasy XIV was kind of a piece of shit, but now that we've seen A Realm Reborn, we got to playing it, and now you got all these journalists all talking about it on Twitter. You got all these people talking about how excited they are to play it.
That negative word of mouth persists, though.
No, not even that. You want to know in previews?
Well, a lot of that is obviously that's true. You know, they got that's what I was talking about before. Is that they have to convince people that they should
keep it.
Lay down $13 to play their game again.
I don't think they can do it.
The good thing is, a couple good things they're doing, a couple smart things is one, of course, if you already own 14, you can just go ahead and download this free update. Two is that the client is updatable. That means that over time they can improve the game in terms of like hardware that you'll need to run it and stuff like that. So over time they can adapt to the growth in computer hardware.
You're giving reasons that don't support your argument. You're just telling stories.
What? I already explained.
What's your main point? What is your main point?
Yeah, this just seems...
Main point is that in order to recover from what they lost, they need to put out a pay-to-play model.
No. No. That is so wrong.
What the fuck, Simon?
That is so wrong in so many ways. If they wanted to recover from this shit, they should have gone free-to-play the moment they saw other MMOs go free-to-play. But they didn't.
But the problem with that is that you have to put out so much content in such a short amount of time.
What the hell? No.
Item markets? Are you kidding me? Do you realize how much work that goes into it every single week?
Go on Guild Wars 2 and see how much stuff is actually on there. because it's actually not a lot. It just rotates out every month. That's what they do. They just rotate that shit out every month. They just create cosmetic items that people want to buy for that event. Like, oh, yeah, I want to join this event. Oh, wait, it's a pirate event? Fuck, let's go buy the pirate costume that's on the fucking market.
Look, I think what Zach is trying to say is that Square wants to squeeze out as much as they can from the not free to play.
Okay, I can understand that. That's cool.
Yeah,
but
because I mean, think about it. When they announce that it does go free to play, a lot of people are going to hear about it. That's going to be a big deal.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it will.
Yeah, so I mean, why not take their chances now? I mean, their goodwill is at rock bottom as it is.
Because when you go from a free to play, when you go from a pay to play model and to a free to play model within a year, it shows that A, you fucked up, and B, you had no system in place that. Okay, these are the same reasons. Okay, to put it shortly, they fucked up because they didn't have a profit. They backed down on their profit model that they thought was going to succeed.
And but they've already fucked up multiple times. They fucked up with the.
In order to make
you're saying because they fucked up multiple times, it doesn't even matter how many more times they fuck up.
I'm saying that.
But in order to make back all the money they lost, do you realize how much content they'd have to sell on a free-to-play
market? How many
subscribers
they need to maintain in order to earn all the money back compared to how much money they can be making off of free-to-play items?
If they combine them, it won't. It'll be fine.
It's a lot more consistent than just worried about putting out all these items, especially if their focus is on a completely different.
If I'm a subscriber and I bought shit, I'm subscribing to this game monthly for $15, and I bought shit from them on their microtransaction-based marketplace, whatever the fuck it's called. If I bought that and then within 6 months they go free to play, I'm gonna be pissed.
That's like most of MMOs right now, though, but doesn't.
No.
But your argument shows
because the earliest they've gone free to play is, or the earliest that a major MMO.
No, it's free to play before it was even released.
He's talking about games that made the transition.
Yeah, I'm talking about games that is Tor, and that's a year, literally exactly a year. That's when they made the transition.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like if they don't. I'm not saying they do or they don't. I'm saying if they do not have a fallback plan, if they do not have a free-to-play model within place, go immediately after, the subscription model failed.
The difference is with Guild Wars 2, though, is that they have all these investors behind them helping them promote that kind of model.
That's not that huge of a company.
The only companies that are self-funded for their own MMOs is Square Enix and Blizzard.
No, ArenaNet is not that huge of a company, and
they are not a huge company, so they need all these investors.
No, and they're not a huge corporate whore either.
Then how are they getting the money back? If that you said there's not many items,
earn a lot of money off the free-to-play shit.
They have people spending money on their free-to-play model. That's what we're saying. People pour money into that stuff.
If
you said they don't have many things on the market, then how are they making that money?
They have a lot of different people buying them.
They have investors promoting that.
God damn it. Dude, okay, if you read their interviews, it said, hey, we might not even fucking do expansions. You want to know why? Because we earned so much fucking money off, hey, free-to-play shit. Oh my fucking God. It makes so much sense. So,
don't know what the argument is that it has to be free-to-play or it's going to fail.
That's the argument.
Because,
that's the argument.
Okay, the argument is that free-to-play is 10 times more successful than pay-to-play. Yes.
You realize how many free-to-play games have subscription models too? It's really dumb.
It's a case-by-case thing.
Like Terra.
We don't know what's going to fail and what's going to succeed.
And I cannot wait until that fateful day.
I can't wait for the fucking
before August 2014 when they announce that Final Fantasy 14 is going to be free-to-play.
Talk about the end of August, right?
What are you going to do, Ron, if they come out of the gate and say, "Oh, we got 1 billion subscribers," and okay,
no, I don't care. Here's the thing, because however well it does the first 3 months, that's going to be none of my concern. I am saying that no matter what happens, by August 20th of 2014, that game will be free to play, and when that fateful day arrives, I'm going to be absolutely insufferable.
Have you played the game?
Yeah. No, it's not about playing the game. It doesn't. I haven't played it, but it doesn't matter.
How do you gauge the quality of it?
Quality. I'm talking about a profit model. It doesn't. I don't care if it's an awful game or a fantastic game. I'm telling you, a subscription model for an MMO is not going to work in 2013.
Yeah, it's not.
I think it's kind of
super amazing. You have content rolling out every week. You're not going to have people buying.
They could be doing that. We don't know.
It's very hard to be making assumptions though. I mean, both sides. Obviously,
Guild Wars
you,
2
and
has 4 teams working, so they have content rolling out every 2 weeks. This is a company just dedicated to managing just.
I would also add. This is an assumption. This is theory. We've argued quite well. Also, I mean, you should get it by now. Come on.
Whoa, what's with the condescending tone?
No, it's not even. It's not.
No, it's the way you say. Well, it's hard to be making assumptions, and I'm like, well, these aren't assumptions. This is straight up theory. This is
like logical step by step.
Yeah,
this is like logical.
I think it's really. I think it's really not necessary to make that kind of call, though. I mean,
So okay, in your
like I
ideal
said,
world, how would Final Fantasy XIV progress for the year from 2013 to
stay as
2014?
pay to play. It'll consistently be pay to play for the next few years. I think so.
I cannot.
I'm glad you're not running this company.
It's just fine.
You know what? I want you to run the company so Square Enix couldn't be run to the fucking ground. That's what. No,
they're not going to go to ground anytime
you know what I said?
soon.
You know what I said when they announced Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn? I said, "Fuck." You know what? I want A Realm Reborn to fucking bomb, so it would drive Square Enix to the fucking bottom, and from the hellhole that it is in, it will rise to like make actually good games. Because now,
it'll rise. Well, no, it won't rise at all if Realm Reborn dies.
Well, I'm just saying this is a shitty investment that for a game that should have been good in the first place, and a company that's been mismanaged.
It was rushed. It was rushed. They
years. Like this is I've been saying A Realm Reborn was a wake up call for them to realize, holy shit, we've been messing up for the past fucking 6 years.
God, you calm down a little bit. So riled up. I think as long as the content is there, as long as the quality is up there, I think it's fine to
I agree
pay
with you.
Because, like, at the end of the day,
but it's not going to be there.
There's so many free-to-play MMOs that are like, well, you get shit for free. Like, you get barely anything for free. You better pay some money to get something that's good. $13, I don't think is a lot to ask for.
I don't think $13 is a lot to ask for, but guess what? I guess how many people spend on League of Legends? I'm pretty sure they spend more than fucking $13
per month.
In their disguise.
No, seriously, dude. League is huge. They definitely spend more than that on League.
They're like actually spend up.
Comparing to League of Legends, it's a totally different genre.
You're right. Okay, fine. Let's look at Guild Wars 2. Okay, $15 a month is not a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie. It's for 1 month to play a single game. $15 is not a lot of money. But if you take away that subscription, if you take away that illusion, you're playing for free. But here's some extra stuff that you can buy, like a cool-looking hat. Yeah. And then if you add multiple cool-looking stuff, that adds up. And then that person has ended up paying more than the subscription.
Just the simple act of giving that person that kind of control.
An illusion.
An illusion. It flips a switch in their mind. Because it's like, oh, I'm not paying $15 because I have to. Now I'm paying whatever I want to of my own volition because I feel like it's worth it.
Because you're not paying for a service anymore. You're paying for products now.
Yeah.
I just the whole idea is that they're making money consistently every month. That helps them maintain a high quality standard that they can set themselves. That they also making money off the box copies of the game for the PlayStation 3 and the PC. So they're making money that way. They're making money.
If the quality is there, yeah, sure. If the quality is there, yeah. Pay to play.
It helps them. It helps them.
If the quality is there, pay to play will work. If Final Fantasy XIV gets 10s fucking everywhere, it'll.
Follow-up question.
Polygon gives it a 4.5, and it's like shit.
Fuck scores. If this game is a stellar, exemplary MMO that has revolutionized everything, yes.
Oh man, why?
Do you think it will be that?
It doesn't have to be.
No.
Let me make this easier. Do you think the quality is there to maintain the subscription model?
The game looks amazing so far. I've enjoyed every moment I played.
You're not answering my question.
What?
Do you think the quality of the game is there to maintain a subscription model?
They got the team behind it.
You're still not answering my question. It's a yes or no question. Yes? Okay. Then we disagree. End of discussion. We disagree. That's simple.
How can you look into the future? Buoyancy or something? I don't know.
No, it's a simple disconnect. You and I disagree that you think that the quality is there to maintain the subscription. I don't think the quality is there to maintain that subscription. It's a simple disconnect. There's nothing more to discuss if we don't agree. on that point, and if we agree to disagree, then that discussion ends there because everything after it is just fruitless discussion.
Just beginning that was the disconnect here, but we'll move on from now. So moving on to Deep Down, which we never really got to before.
This game, what the fuck is a memory reading RPG? What is this shit?
Sounds like Dragon's Lair to me.
They called it a memory reading RPG. All I've heard so far is that digital only online game.
Yeah.
I am fine with online only. I have come to accept that online only is probably going to be the future.
Yeah,
there's nothing, and
I don't. Yeah, there's plenty of games like that.
And if Destiny's going that way, I'm perfectly fine with it. If the gameplay model supports that, by all means, go do whatever the fuck you want. I give no shits.
I think it's the thing that people have a problem with, from what I've heard, is that Capcom Online games, which their history is Monster Hunter Frontier, which people have problems with. At the same time, for me, when I was thinking about it earlier, when people talked about that, I was thinking, okay, yeah, so that game got a lot of bad coverage because apparently they don't update that game very often, and there's some very big technical problems with it. But I think it's
I really do think it's still more that people have an issue having to be online, having to be always online for anything in any capacity almost at this point.
That's not even the problem. The problem, God, holy shit, the fucking problem. You want to know what the problem is? The problem is that they fucking announced this shit as an awesome Dark Souls as Dragon's Dogma looking game.
No. I don't know how you guys always extrapolate that from Deep Down.
Let me take out the exaggerated
It looked like a very vague looking CGI cutscene from some random fantasy game. It didn't look like Dragon's Dogma. It didn't look like Dark Souls. It didn't look like Dragon Age. It didn't look like anything.
I
know, but it's not just you. That's why I'm saying all this, because it's not just you. It's basically like everyone on the internet.
When they showed that game in February, they showed a teaser, a cool looking teaser that was left up to the audience's discretion to imagine how the game would be. And
but at the same time,
by not revealing any more information, they brought trouble on themselves.
People ran wild with it.
People ran wild with the idea. That's what I meant. Sorry, that's what I wanted to communicate.
But and at the end of that trailer, though, they did show that message that popped up from some guy inside his cooperative game. So it's like, well, you kind of knew it was going to be multiplayer anyway. So there's going to be an online component.
The problem is though, that little snippet right there, that only kind of added fuel to the fire that, it's a spiritual successor to Dragon's Dogma, because Dragon's Dogma had that big multiplayer component, so people were already kind of reaching and using the initials, and then the online component just kind of added that to it and said, this must be Dragon's Dogma 2.
Which begs the question, why the hell didn't they say anything when they first showed that game?
Well, the thing is, I caught on the Facebook page when I was watching that PlayStation 4 reveal event, on the Facebook, the guy who ran the Facebook page mentioned that it takes place inside the Dragon's Dogma world. They deleted it later. I'm like, wait, what? And so I tweeted about that, and then I noticed that it went down. It's like, wait, so did I catch something early? Apparently it was nothing. I don't know. Did they decide they're going to make another Dragon's Dogma later?
Who did you say you saw tweet that?
On the Facebook page.
Really?
Yeah, they post that on the Facebook page. Then they quickly deleted it.
Doesn't matter, because what matters is what's happening now. What matters is what's happening now, and how people are like, what the fuck is this shit now?
And they keep saying we can't save it's on Xbox One. So to me, and I'm going to do a little reaching of my own. To me, it sounds like it's an always online game, and it's free to play. And Sony, on PlayStation 4, you have the option to not require PS Plus, so anybody can get access to a free-to-play game.
Yeah, but
hold on. Let me
Sorry, I'll cut you off. Sorry, go ahead.
And on Xbox One, you are not going to have that option to just play a free-to-play game unless you have gold. And perhaps maybe they're talking to Microsoft to try to work something out, like Square did years ago with Final Fantasy XI. You don't need gold for that on 360 even now. So maybe that's what's happening, but they're strangely non-committal on whether it's exclusive or not, which is odd.
But at the same time, though, Xbox One does support free-to-play games. Killer Instinct is free-to-play.
You'll need gold.
Yeah, but that's like any game.
But you don't need a PS Plus though on PlayStation 3. You can just get a PS3 and have a a regular account and you can play
PS4 game though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. On PlayStation 4. Sorry.
No, you need to pay PlayStation Plus for multiplayer.
Online multiplayer, yes. But free-to-play games are
free-to-play games. It's up to the publisher if it's a free-to-play game.
You sure?
I think it's going to be a botched product.
Sony has not only said it, but they're going to set the example because DC Universe and PlanetSide 2 will not require PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
They'll be free.
PlanetSide?
Yeah.
But it's at the same time though, is that like there's already plenty of games where you buy once and you have online servers and stuff like that. So I don't see why it could be like a box product.
I don't think it's going to be like Killer Instinct.
I
think you buy a box product. I think you buy a box product and it'll be free to play.
Or digital product.
Yeah.
I guess
It's
in this
not going to
case.
be offered up on a silver fucking platter. I don't think it's going to be that.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think it's going to be online servers. They're going to support it with maybe microtransactions, like
Too. That's a
well,
model
like any EA game basically, or Titan or
I don't
wait. Hold on. Do you think it's that conventional though? Because the way they say like it's a reading RPG, do you think it's like what does that mean? It sounds like it's not an action game though.
It sounds like you take memories of people and you like reenact them and shit, a la Halo 3 fucking ODST. I don't fucking know.
ODST is an awesome game.
Halo 3 fucking ODST
is an awesome game.
I don't understand Capcom's. I don't know why they didn't say that. Like, I keep going back to the idea of like, why did Capcom not say anything in February when they announced this?
Yeah.
Like,
it's probably because they just decided the business model.
And then going back.
No, I don't think that's. I don't think it was because of financial reasons at all. Like, why can't you give gameplay reasons? Like, well, I guess unless you don't want to reveal what's
we're talking about something that happened in February. You know, they were probably deciding at the beginning of the year, like what they were going to do, and they didn't have it finalized until
I have to say, to go back to that point I had earlier about Capcom's creative situation, I think the fact that they have Ono as who seems to be like producer on that, the fact that he is like producer and like the public face of that shows that Capcom has no one left creatively. Like all their creative guys.
Oh no, they already. I mean, he collapsed recently. So, I mean, not so long ago. So I mean, the guy.
He's the fighting game guy. Like it's weird that he's out here talking about this game or that he's involved with it at all because he's the fighting game guy and always has been.
Reveal that game. He was excited to finally reveal that.
You're telling me this game is not Street Fighter Cross Dragon's Dogma? Well, fuck. I don't know what the fuck to say to you, man.
It's just like it's so like that to me like the fact like just seeing him there in the February event that to me perfectly symbolized Capcom's current situation. Severe lack of creative leads.
I just think a lot of it's going to blow over. Once it kind of comes down to how that game's going to be. But yeah, I do agree that it would have been nice if it was more fun about it. Because now, but at the same time, the team that's making it, once again, it's Capcom Online Games, which doesn't have, like, most of their stuff is on the social and mobile side and, like, those types of games. And then Monster Hunter Frontiers, they're pretty much the only really big online game
what have they made? COG, what have they made?
Like I said, it's a Monster Hunter Frontier. They put out a lot of, it's a lot of Japan-only games. I forget, like Ixion Saga or something like that. I forget some of the other stuff.
Sounds like a lot of Kosoge.
Yeah, it's like Onimusha games. They don't have.
Awesome.
Yeah, the only, like I said, the only big game I think they put out that's still running right now is that Monster Hunter game. But I don't know. Maybe with the new engine, they can actually solve a lot of their technical issues.
Maybe January works wonders.
I think they showed that tech demo in response to showing what they can do next gen. And they wanted to make a game out of it. They were already in plans of making a game out of that tech demo. And after they came out of February, they're like, oh, shit, we actually don't have any solid ideas for a fucking game. Well, we got to work hard for the next, what month is this? It's August, right? We got to work hard for the next fucking 6 months to think of a game, workable game, using these aesthetics. Well, this is the best one you got, guys. It's called
at the same time. What else putting out next year?
Does anyone know offhand what engine Dead Rising 3 is on?
Shit.
I think that's like a modified engine, isn't it? A modified.
No, it's a new engine.
Now I want to look it up.
Yeah, is that
research
proprietary or is that Unreal?
No, I'm pretty sure it's proprietary.
Yep, I think I remember it being proprietary.
It should be MT Framework, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a. Let me see.
I think.
Let's check our friends over here.
I don't know other than
because I don't think
framework. Is it?
It is a new engine. It's called the Forge engine. It's a new engine. Okay.
That's interesting. So they don't. Okay.
I don't think they even have documents for like English use of MT framework.
But obviously it's not the same as the Deep Down engine. I think is that called like Panther Ray or something like that?
That's what I was asking. I was wondering if Panther Ray was like done and they could use it for Dead Rising 3. But Capcom Vancouver already made Dead Rising 2 in Case Zero or Case West or whatever it was called on MT Framework. So
yeah, and at the same time, I mean, there's plenty of examples you can have where even if there's a publisher using some sort of engine they don't really share it across. I mean, that's the same reason like Hitman had its own engine for Midos and stuff like that, but they're not going to use the Agnes philosophy or
Oh yeah, I mean, Bethesda said it sent 8 employees to Japan to school them on id Tech 5 for Evil Within, like to Makami Studio.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, that's trivia. Sorry, I was just curious if that was going to be a Panther Ray game or whatever.
Yeah, I think deep down it's at that point everyone's pissed off right now because it's fresh. But man, they better put out like a trailer or something like that. They said they're going to showcase the title at Tokyo Game Show, so I hope they really plot all the stops to show way more about that game.
I think it's just going to be a gameplay trailer, and then the game will come out.
They said showcase, so they're actually going to show off the game like in a feature stuff. It's not going to be just a single stuff.
Should be at Sony's press conference, and then maybe at a Capcom thing, and then if it's just a trailer, they'll
Sony's
do behind
press conference at TGS, where last year they off-screened a fucking Gundam game. What?
Dude, I can't believe you reminded me of that. Oh my god!
Yeah, they were like, they can't
show you this shit on camera.
And it was crazy because you were mad even though
Simon, are you going to have an aneurysm over there?
I was going to say.
Oh.
His voice went way out there.
I think he did have an aneurysm. You okay, Simon?
I think he got up and walked around.
This is my favorite episode.
Yeah. It's so angry.
Angry Simon is best Simon.
I'm not angry.
Simon, you're sounding way off right now.
I'm not angry. I'm just looking at Japan and seeing their fucking incompetence.
Like out the window? Or?
Dude, welcome to my mindset for probably upwards of like 2 years.
You know, if I made a tweet about this.
The thing that sets you off was them not showing a Gundam game. Now all of a sudden you're like,
they had the balls to like be like, we can't show you this game. You know, we still have. I don't think we've ever seen that game like since.
I thought they made a mistake. I thought it was like a mistake and that they didn't mean to do that.
If it was a mistake, fine, then they just done goof. But like,
did they censor something else in that conference though?
I don't give a fuck.
I feel like they did. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't really remember exactly, but I do kind of remember them.
All I know is that TGS this year will probably be shit. Probably.
What?
I don't know. It's
really?
Shit.
Do you really think so?
Hey, Persona 5.
Persona 5.
Yeah, Persona 5.
That's before TGS.
That's enough.
Yeah, Persona 5 will happen before TGS.
That's
calling it now.
Are you calling it?
What makes you think
I'm gonna make a fucking bet. Persona 5 is gonna be announced this month.
You're under NDA, aren't you? You know.
Why would I have NDA?
You're gonna have to put a dime every time.
No, I think
you and Kakari both need to talk to me.
No, I don't think it's that. No, I think logically speaking, announcing games before TGS is smart. Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, because it all gets leaked in Famitsu anyway.
Well, not even that. It's just logically makes sense. So TGS is next month, right?
TGS
is it?
September, yes. It is. I think it
is September. So it'll happen sometime I don't think it'll happen 2 weeks before TGS. That sounds so stupid. Like, and I don't think it'll happen a week before it either. They want
so
to have that
down to the hour.
Well, yeah, I don't think when was the last time Atlas announced something big at TGS?
Well, here's the thing: they don't. They announce it before, and they get everyone's attention on their own, and they show it at TGS.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they've ever.
This month is the only time they do that.
Because, I mean, even Level 5 has their big event going down on August 26th where they're going to announce their new projects and stuff like that. So especially for, like, next generation stuff. So there's another example. It's 2 weeks before TGS.
Atlas' fan concert is on the 13th, which happens to be a Tuesday.
Atlas is also shit.
Wait, what?
No. I'm just kidding.
And
Atlas is in a weird spot.
Why do you think Tokyo Game Show is going to be bad, though?
Because they have a lot of titles they announced. I don't think there's going to be a lot of gameplay stuff there. I don't think
there's a lot of gameplay stuff.
I don't think we're going to see 15 gameplay. I don't think we're going to see 2.5 gameplay.
Well, that's Square Enix.
Yes, Square is exempt from this discussion.
Co-theater.
We're talking about everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, you still got a ton of other companies that are there that are going to be showing stuff.
Okay, all right, fine. I want another Senran Kagura game. You guys found me out. Holy shit.
Localized. They did a localized Shinobi versus.
How could you?
No, I don't. Sony,
I watched for the plot.
Press conferences at TGS has always been underwhelming. Like, stuff last year was really underwhelming.
But that was between gens,
because someone has to obligatorily ask Last Guardian, yes or no. Is it there or not?
Oh my god. They did say that there's still, even as recently as like a few weeks ago.
Someone said it wasn't, and then Yoshida said, no, it is, because that's his job to convince you that it is, even if it isn't. So, do you think it's going to actually be there?
I thought it was Yoshida that said it was put on hold, and then
No.
It was a West.
Jack Tretton said it was on
hold.
Jack Tretton during a game show's interview with
and if a game is on hold, it might as well be dead.
There was an incident.
Oh, Yoshida said no.
Not on hiatus.
Yoshida said that it's not on hiatus and it's inactive production. Sounds to me like Jack Tretton might have accidentally told the truth.
I don't think so. I think Jack Tretton said no, it's better. I don't think he knows because it's Sony Japan.
He's the head of Sony operations. He knows. He knows what's up.
Yoshida's the guy in Japan.
So you don't think they don't communicate with each other? You're telling me Reggie doesn't know what the shit is going on in Nintendo Japan? That's what you're telling me?
Except Yoshida's above Tretton, though.
Okay, so the fuck is everyone?
He isn't even above Tretton. He's the head of Worldwide Studios. Jack Tretton is the president of a whole division. That's not how hierarchy works.
I'm messing up my people here. That's
Tretton knows. Tretton fucking knows.
You're thinking of Kawano, who's the head of SE Japan.
I don't see why that would be. Even as soon as February, Fumito Ueda updated his blog saying, "Yeah, we're still working on it." Why would he not? Why would something
either they're really still working on it, or that game is really just dead?
Yeah.
I think it's stretched out for sure. I don't think it's going to be a tough game.
I don't think that game's going to succeed. I think this will be the death of Ueda. I'm being serious.
Yeah,
I think
he's not going to die. He's going to live forever. He looks like he's 20.
I don't think anyone will hire him.
Yeah, I know. I was just being difficult.
So Sony's pretty good about doing things for goodwill. They're kind of good about spending money on projects to gain goodwill, so they will put the game out if they can muster it. They will put the game out, but yes, creatively, Ueda's career is probably toast. Unless he wants to make mobile games.
That's his grand plan. He's trying to squeeze as much money as he can before he actually puts his project out because he's no dead fucking screwed.
Well, I think at this
Simon.
It's not anymore though. He's a contractor. He's putting out his other stuff too.
Okay, I forgot about that. Damn.
The dead note. He's not even with Sony anymore. That's the reason why it's taken so long. Is that he's now just contracted to complete it.
Oh, we all know that's nominal. They just fired him and they just made him a freelancer so they don't have to hire him again.
Yeah, exactly. I think they probably threw. It sounds like they threw some of Sony Santa Monica at it, but that place has its own projects also. So
Yeah, I think Sony Santa Monica came out and said there was some falsities about that.
Really? That's bad news then. That's even worse.
I think it's that they had a hand in it, but they're not as involved as people assume they were. They thought they were co-developing or something like that.
It's probably they probably have an American producer on it who can go down there and probably try to get.
You know what I thought is they probably brought people out and they're like, can you guys finish this game? They're like, no, we the way this is done, we can't.
The way the technology is, we can't.
Yeah, we can't do it by ourselves.
Yeah.
I think there's so many hands in it. It's just that Sony Santa Monica was one of them. They're already making the game as it is, so it's not like they could. They've been making that game for years. Apparently, they started their game back in 2008.
It always sounded so ambitious, and whatever their technology is was really, really complicated. So I think Simon's right. They probably flew them out and said, "Could you put this in your pipeline?" And Santa Monica looked at them like they're crazy.
Who knows? Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't put it beyond that. But at the same time, I think Ron's right that it's going to be brought out. Who knows where it's going to be at that point? I hope. Loving Shadow Colossus, like I said before, is my favorite game of all time. So I hope it's up to that standard. But
I hope this game comes out before Versus.
It's hard to say.
Oh boy,
it comes out before Versus.
Yeah, wouldn't it with 15? Yeah, it's as long. It's been as long in development as that game has.
Yeah.
So.
I really hope this game comes out before Versus.
My hopes aren't that high as they used to be for Last Guardian, but damn, would that be great if they did put out a showstopper right away.
Dude, I don't think Last Guardian will be a showstopper. I think the effect of Last Guardian being shown and being like announced again, I think that'll be a showstopper.
That'll be a showstopper, and then the game will come out. And honestly, I'm at this point, I do. Anytime a game takes this long to make, I always expect it to ultimately release and get a lukewarm reception.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'll be there. I'll be there for the midnight release of Last Guardian. I'm way excited about that game. I don't care.
Well,
at this time, it's
I know
we're still working on it. It's not like they passed it completely off to somebody else like they do some projects. So I'm still very.
Japan has a beat, guys.
I'm sure it's going to be very artistic and beautiful and fun to look at, and you're going to love Trico and having your little boy pet him and do all that crazy stuff. And then when you review it on a mechanical level, it'll be like a 5 or a 6 out of 10.
That's like all their games.
Yeah, pretty much like on
mechanics. It leaves something to be desired, but that's not where I play those games.
You know what they say is like that? They say Rain is the same way. Real pretty, real charming, great concept, pretty shallow.
I don't. I think that's very subjective, but from what I played of Rain. But let's not talk any more about that. Let's just go ahead. So there's a lot to talk about today. We yelled a lot. My voice is starting to go a little bit. So yeah, that was some really heated discussion going on.
We've run pretty long.
That was angry and fun.
I was not angry.
Yeah, you were.
I was not angry.
You were. Angry Simon is best Simon. He should come on again.
Yeah.
He's always here. It's okay. He'll always come back. That's the good thing. Great. So yeah, that was an amazing podcast. Thanks a lot for joining us. I'd like to thank Ron, Simon, and David for a great discussion. I'm sure we can keep this up. Yeah, this was a discussion, right? And I, of course, like to thank everyone for joining us. And thank you for joining us for the TetraCast. And we'll leave today. I'll put a little bit of Simon's ordering information at the end of this. Thank you, guys.
Oh, damn it.
We're just holding out for Simon.
Blu-ray and DVD. Okay, how do I buy now? All right, hybrid, limited edition, Blu-ray. $89.98. Okay, I am totally ready for this shit. Proceed to checkout.
Man, oh man.
Adam's on, I think.
My email address is I'm a returning customer and my password is blah blah blah. Oh wait, what email did I use?
Adam, are you on the call?
Can you hear us?
Yes! Oh, yeah. Okay, add a new address. Oh, wait. Ship to this address. Yes. Bill to this address.
I think the part we really excelled during the previous one, is that we let everyone finish their thoughts, and so that actually turned out really well.
Oh, wait. How long does the shipping take? Fuck. I don't want it to take forever.
But you're going to play Tales of Basilia.
Well, I would already have the review and shit done by then, so, like, this comes out Tuesday. So, wait, okay, let me see. Blah, 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 shipping, okay.
But are you going to go straight to it after you get it?
Hell yeah, dude, I am.
Go straight to watching Blu-ray.
Current rates. Okay. It takes me 10 to 14 for economy? What the fuck?
Was it coming from Hong Kong?
God fucking damn, what the shit. No way, 10 to 14. Oh, $6 for 2 to 5 days. I can do that.
You spend like what, $200-$300? Might as well.
Oh wait, standard U.S.
change.
The prices to buy anime on home video are absolutely extortionate.
Wait,
I'll buy movies on Blu-ray, like the movies. But
should I pay $6 for USPS, or should I pay $2 more, so $8 for UPS? I don't. Do I have a coupon code? Does anyone have a coupon code? Fuck.
For what?
Right stuff? Anyone have a coupon for right stuff?
Did you check their Twitter account or something? Or
anyone have a coupon code for right stuff? Please help, in caps. Wait, I get an automatic coupon for autograph ticket session for Sora Online if I buy the first set, but I don't go to Otacon. What the fuck?
You want to go to Otakon?
No, fuck that shit. I can't go there.
Otakon.
Who wants my ticket to go to Otakon? I will freaking sell this shit.
Sell it to make a coupon for your purchase.
Sell it so I can pay for my shipping.
You're gonna have to wait for like a year just to get that.
Oh my goodness.
Red Star is coming to PSN next week. You ever played Red Star?
No. Oh,
it was like weird, like side scroller beat 'em up.
What's on Right Stuff today? No coupon. Sorry, just curious. Damn it. Just ordering stuff. Okay, I might just need to order it using UPS. I think I'm just gonna use UPS Ground or something. I don't want to pay $2 extra for this shit.
Just pay for the shipping. You're spending like $1 million.
Okay. I submitted the information. Blah, blah,
I wish we
blah.
could start.
Yes! Your order is complete! You placed the order. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, great! Finally, yay!
Yay!
Success!
I have officially ordered Sora Online.
I'm glad. I recorded all of that. I'm going to include that on the podcast.
Put that at the end.
I'm going to put it at the end because I want to get everything. I want everyone to learn how Simon works from beginning to end of his ordering process.
Sweet. I'm so Sora Online.
So Sword Art Online.
Blu-ray Volume 1 order finalized. Yeah.
Can you share the order on Twitter?
Oh wait, can I? I want to do that.
You can. They usually have share links at the end.
Amazon does
wait,
it. I'm sure.
No, there isn't. That's
What?
lame.
That's lame.
Whatever. I don't even give a fuck anymore.
Terrible ordering process. You can't be social about it.
Right stuff is so behind the times.
The Volume 2 cover looks like shit, though. Volume 1 cover is all I care about. Too bad all the shit happens in Volume 2. Fuck.
All the cool stuff. A lot of the best music happens in Volume 2.
All the cool stuff.
I only have like an hour and 30 minutes, just saying.
I don't know how long I have. We should get...
Simon, you're telling us your time limit? The guy who spent half an hour ordering something on the call?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, Adam's out. All right, great. Let's start it.
Wait, Adam's out? No!
David, you here?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yep.
Damn it. Why? Whatever. Oh, wait, free shipping on $49. Oh, wait.
Simon, you are a guy that
You are
just
a guy.
does things